What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 19 of Littleroot Lessons. As always, I'm your host, Carter Noble, joined by our fantastic co-host, Carl Wilkin. What's up, man?
Series 5 is well underway. A lot of people building a lot of teams. Speaking of teams, we have a couple teams of the week this week. We're also going to take a focus on Porygon Z, which appears to be tearing up the showdown ladders left and right. And then probably end the day on some tournament results from the Rose Tower Clash number 12.
Sounds good to me. Sounds like a winning plan to me.
Which of these teams do you want to look at first? We got two here from our Discord.
So, I have this Galarian Weezing team here up first.
Okay.
We have Focus Sash Galarian Weezing, Assault Vest Incineroar, Flame Orb Driftblim. I need to go look up an ability. I don't know what Flare Boost does.
We also have an Eviolite Porygon 2, a Life Orb Golduck, and a Choice Band Gallade.
Okay. So, this is sent in by Slacking.
Yep.
Who, he's been around forever at this point on Discord. So, him and Xeno have been working on this, I think he said.
Yep.
I think he said that instead of Gallade, Xeno has...
I think Torkoal.
Something. That sounds correct.
Torkoal,
correct.
Which makes sense.
So, couple notable things here. Now that I know what Flare Boost does, it's like Guts except for special attack.
Yep.
And it only works with Flame Orb. It only works with Burn compared to all statuses.
Yep.
And then this Gallade is just trying to hit real hard.
Just hit everything.
Yep. Golduck. I really like Golduck. Golduck is one that doesn't get any kind of love, and being able to have access to Cloud9 seems moderately important right now, especially with all the rain and sand has started to come back. I've seen a lot of Tyrannitars.
Sun is also pushing its way back into the format too,
So having this Cloud9 just be like, nope, stop whatever you're doing. Your abilities don't work, mine do. And then, if we really want to shut off abilities, we just have Galarian Weezing.
Yep.
Who not only shuts off abilities, but has Corrosive Gas so we can get rid of items, has Haze so if they try to sit up on you, just shuts them off. Just this is the Mon that just whatever you're doing, just stop. It's fine. And this is something that you and I talked about back in episode 15, 16, something like that.
Yeah.
It was right when we found out what all the moves do, which I think was DLC week.
Something it was either DLC week or the week before.
So 15 or 16, something like that. But this is something that you brought up to me. It was just hey, let's play with Galarian Weezing. And I'm just all right, sure. Not only does it set Misty Terrain, but it also has access to Neutralizing Gas, which is real powerful. So this is really interesting, and I need to see some games of it with it to actually figure out how this plays.
Notable things here on Weezing, we have Dazzling Gleam here as our damaging attack for spread damage, which is probably super duper relevant for what this Weezing is trying to do to begin with, just being a special wall.
This is something that you've brought up to me in the past. If we're playing Focus Sash, why are we match HP?
Exactly. The reasoning here is just probably because, I need to survive X attack, but I also have Focus Sash just so I don't get O-code. But if you already have Focus Sash, you're not getting O-code anyway, so why invest in the HP, and especially here the special defense? Why not put Black Sludge on this thing? If that's the case.
If we're doing Focus Sash, we could just take these HP EVs and either put them in bulk, or we can invest into our special attacks so our Dazzling Gleam actually does some damage.
Yeah,
Or we could put them into speed. I don't hate putting him into speed so we can just like corrosive gas sooner.
I would much rather just play Black Sludge on this guy. Bulky Wheezing is very, very bulky to begin with, and being able to heal up and punish people who try to trick your recovery off of you with Prankstermons is very important.
I'm interested in seeing. I'm pulling up right now. Wheezing in singles. I know there is it's currently in UU, but there is a defensive set here. It's not doing the exact same thing here. This set is Strange Steam, Will-O-Wisp, Defog, and then Toxic. But like notably, we're trying to just stop our opponent from doing anything. So I think if we're trying to just stall out the game, I really like the idea of putting Toxic on Wheezing. Like, that seems really sweet.
Not having, like, a status move on your Wheezing's a little odd. I guess Corrosive Gas has to take that spot, and then Haze means you just don't get set up on. Because this Wheezy doesn't output a lot of pressure to begin with, especially if you're pairing it with this Incineroar, or with this Drifblim, or the Porygon 2. That all just have like a couple attacks that's not very good coverage, so you need. Corrosive Gas doesn't seem worth it.
Yeah,
what I'm trying to get at.
I've played it against it a couple times, and it's never felt great. It like the first time I played against it, I'm like, all right, cool. Now that I know how to play against it, and then like I don't think I've lost to it since.
I found out on Showdown, just play testing with it, that it is every Mon on the field. All Mons lose their items. So, got to take that into consideration there as well, because a lot of your Mons really want their items, like this Flare Boost Drifblim with Flame Orb. If you take off the Flame Orb with your Corrosive Gas, you don't get your Flare Boost, because you're not burnt.
And Porygon 2 looks way worse when it doesn't have Eviolite.
Yep.
Same with like Dusclops. Like I played against a lot of these in the last couple of days, and like you just knock off that Eviolite and it just doesn't do anything anymore.
Yep.
Like it becomes so much easier to deal with.
So I don't know if like Wheezing plus Corrosive Gas is what this team wants. I think if you're wanting to build a stally Wheezing, you're gonna want Black Sludge. You're gonna want a status move. Like you can still run Corrosive Gas, that's fine.
Notably, Corrosive Gas also gets rid of your Focus Sash.
Yep.
So like, it's just, now we actually have nothing.
So yeah, I'm not sure how good this Wheezing actually is.
I am concerned about this set. I think Galarian Wheezing, if you're trying to play with Galarian Wheezing, I think there's a way to do it. And I don't know if this is it.
Moving on down this line here, Incineroar Assault Vest, max HP, only 100 attack and 156 defense. We're trying to be
it's like a physical sweeper here, it looks like.
But if that's what you're wanting to do, you don't really want to put points in defense. You'd rather just be attacking people.
Or speed.
No, Incineroar's speed only gets to 123 at max, and that's...
Oh, that is so bad.
That doesn't... Yeah, you'd rather be slow. Granted, Drifblim has Tailwind, but...
We also have Trick Room on Porygon, so like we can play both sides of speed control here.
Yeah.
Which I actually really like.
I'm we'll get to Drifblim here in a minute, because the set on Drifblim is a little weird, like the Wheezing one is. But Incineroar having Fake Out, Darkest, Lariat, Flare Blitz, and U-Turn is pretty standard for Assault Vest Incineroar. Granted, you don't get access to Parting Shot this way, which is like the big reason Incineroar is played. Giving him on -2 attack and -1 special attack pretty much every time Incineroar comes out is really, really good. still really, really good. Not as good now that everyone's playing special attackers again, which is a weird thing to come back to. We'll have to talk about that probably later at a different episode, because that's a whole episode in and of itself. But Assault Vest, I'm just not a fan of like half these sets on these Mons compared to what I've been playing.
It's a little bizarre.
Next on this list is the Flare Boost Drift Blim.
Okay, so here's the thing I really don't understand. Is we are neutralizing gas on our Weezing to shut off opponents' abilities, but it also shuts off our abilities. It's like, Drift Blim's just going to get burnt.
And then not do anything.
And Incineroar doesn't get its...
Intimidate.
So I really wonder if we just want to be Misty Surge, be unburdened on this Drift Blim,
and Misty Seed.
Yeah, Misty Seed on it.
That's what I was trying to get. That's where I was getting to.
I just beat you to it.
The Drift Blim is trying to be a support mon and a damage dealer all at the same time, and that's not what Drift Blim does. Drift Blim may have high HP, but it needs the defense investment to actually survive attacks.
Oh yeah, otherwise, like, it's still just going to take hits. Like, it's just going to go down. The big perk of having a huge HP stat is that you need to be able to put some points into defense to actually be able to abuse it.
Not to mention that we're like Calm Mind, Tailwind, and then Shadow Ball, Thunderbolt. Like, we're stretching ourselves too thin. We're like, we want to be this special attacker with Flare Boost and Flame Orb, but we also want to do Tailwind and Calm Mind things, and we can't afford to do both.
Does Drift Blim get access to Trick?
I don't think so.
Because that would be interesting.
I could find out.
If we could, like, protect into... If we could, like, Tailwind into get our trigger into trick it onto one of their Mons, that seems cool. But I doubt it, because Drift Blim would actually might be good then.
It does get Trick.
Interesting. I like Trick way more than Calm Mind, if this is what we're trying to do.
I honestly like Unburden better than Flare Boost.
Okay.
Like running the Unburden Misty Surge set to counteract all the terrain wars that have been going on here lately.
I really like that, just because, like, that puts, like, gives you better percentage points against psychic spam, and, like, it shuts off priority from Grassy Glide for Rillaboom. So just being able to say, no, knock it off, stop it, like, that seems good.
Yeah.
Trick fails, though, if you don't have an item to pass, right?
I believe
it's not
correct.
just take theirs.
Let's see here. Trick. User switches is held on with a target. Well, I think you still have to have an item. From what I'm reading, I think you have to have an item still.
Okay. That's the way I figured it worked, but... Does Golduck get any better coverage than Focus Blast?
I don't know the answer to that one. I don't play with Golduck.
Excuse me while I open up Showdown real quick.
Golduck is like the one set I actually like agree with. Life Orb, Cloud9, max special attack, max speed, modest, just trying to do as much damage as possible and be a Dynamax target. Protect, Focus Blast, Ice coverage for grass types, and then Scald, just try to get burns, helps the rest of your team. Not take as much damage from the physical damage dealers that are still around, like T-Tar and Urshifu being popular again.
Okay, if we're looking at specifically special, we have Ice coverage with Blizzard and Ice Beam. And Icy Wind if we want to go that route, but probably not. We get Clear Smog.
Meh.
Focus Blast, which, I mean, it's whatever. Plenty of water coverage, so we get Hydro Pump, Scald, Surf, just those are like the three
water
big
type
ones.
attacks.
Yeah, those are the three big ones. And then we get Psychic and Shy Shock. Do either of those interest you more than Focus Blast?
Not terribly so, because then we're just overriding our Misty Terrain that we really don't want to override. We just reset Psychic Terrain for them.
True. If we go physical, which, I mean, we're talking 82 versus 95, so it is less good. If we're talking physical, we get Aqua Jet.
Priority. Nice.
Brick Break and Cross Chop.
Okay.
Ice Punch, so we still have our ice coverage. We have Iron Tail, so if we Dynamaxes, we have Steel Spike.
Which is always a good check mark for Dynamax ones to check.
We get Shadow Claw, so we can actually deal with Psy Spam if it's there.
Except in DD.
Well, true. We get Fling.
Nah.
Fling my Life Orb, hit you. How much damage does that do?
I don't know the item damage.
I have no idea. Fling is not one I play with ever.
Nope. Plus, there's so many items in the game, trying to memorize them all is almost impossible.
Yeah, I agree. So, physical Golduck doesn't look awful. It also gets Flip Turn.
I was about to ask if we get Flip Turn.
Hold on now.
If we get Flip Turn, we can actually do something here.
Yeah, this is way more up my alley now. Yeah, let's get rid of Focus Blast, put Iron Tail on here.
I don't like that.
You don't?
I like being able to hit things still.
Well, I mean, this is like our main Dynamax target, though, right?
Yeah, it's going to Dynamax, but I still like being able to hit things when I'm not Dynamax. It only lasts 3 turns.
True. Do we like Aqua Jet or Waterfall?
We don't get Liquidation, do we?
Oh, we do. We do.
That one's 100% better.
Yep. Cross Chop, Brick Break. Like, I mean, at this point, like, the special just looks... Like, at this point, though, the special set just looks better because we aren't abusing any better coverage.
I like Brick Break for specifically being able to deal well with Lapras, because this team does not deal with Lapras very well. It also has no high damage dealers that actually deal with, like, Pokemon behind screens.
Man, I kind of wish Drifbloom got, like, Infiltrator.
No, you don't.
You're right.
You could just run Dragapult at that point, if that's what you're wanting to do.
That reminds me, I have a shiny Dragapult I need to get EV trained at some point.
Nah.
You're right. I'm probably not going to play with it, so...
Lastly here, this Gallade is justified, because I don't think Gallade has a better ability than that.
It doesn't. It's pretty bad. I think it's Steadfast.
I mean, isn't Steadfast immune to Flinch and Intimidate?
No. If it flinches, its speed is raised.
Yeah, it's the bad one. It's
You're
Inner Focus.
thinking Inner Focus.
Inner Focus is the good one.
Way better now.
So Justified, it's probably the best one you can run. Close Combat, Zen Headbutt gets Knockoff and Poison Jab.
Like, that coverage is good.
Coverage is really good. It's just you threw a Choice Band on it, so... Your coverage is thrown out the window. You get 1, and then you have to hard switch. Or you have to Dynamax and lose your Choice Band.
Do we get U-turn? No.
No, of course not.
That'd be too cool. Flip turn?
No. God, no.
Is there any other moves that we can switch out? We get triple axle. That's kind of cool.
I'd like to... The whole team is just kind of wonky feeling, because it's just like, we have this Choice Band Gallade, which it's got real good coverage, but your Choice Band Gallade.
I kind of want this to be Cobalion.
I mean, that's not bad. And then you like want to beat up Pokemon. Who learns beat up on here? Incineroar?
Incineroar does not get beat up.
Well, then this team is 10 times worse with Copalion.
I mean, like, so the big thing is, like, you're trying to switch Gallade in on, I'm assuming, Dark-type moves is why it's here.
That's about the only thing I can think of.
Like, so, if that's your plan, Cabalion's just better because it resists it. And not only does it resist it, it's 4 times resisted.
Yeah, which...
compared to neutral.
I don't know what Dark-type moves you're swapping in on besides, like, boosted Lash Out or a Max Darkness.
Neither of those feel great.
No. Lash Out specifically. A boosted Lash Out is a lot of damage from Weakness Policy T-Tar.
Can confirm.
Yeah, the more and more I look at this, it just looks kind of hodgepodgey. Like, there's some things that are good, like the Incineroar plus, like, the Porygon's a good lead. The Golduck is a good sweeper. Gallade is good if it wasn't, like, choice. Like, if it had any other item.
If it was Life Orb, I'd be more on board with this Gallade set.
You could slap Expert Belt on this thing and be fine, probably.
Yeah, there we go. That's another one.
Just, you're wanting... The reason you're running all these coverage moves is you're going to hit something super effectively anyway. You're not going to get as much of a boost you would with his Choice Band, but... You're wanting to hit something super effectively and you're hoping to switch into a Dark-type attack, so you're getting +1.
I don't know. This one is interesting. This one is definitely interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, the set... A lot of the sets looks like they look suboptimal. Like, Drifblim still dies to a ham sandwich with no defensive bulk into it, and you are max speed, max special attack on a Mon that gets unburdened. Like,
Especially the fact that, like, changing around abilities, you could abuse it. That's the worst part.
like this team would be great with, like, Unburdened Drifblim, Misty Seed, Weezing Galar, and, like, from there, the rest of it just falls into place, besides Escalade, of course. But, like we said, Xeno's version of this team is running Torkoal, which helps a lot with the weather, but doesn't really help anybody else, like, weather-wise. Like, it helps Incineroar.
Yeah, Incineroar hits a little harder. That's actually it. It makes Golduck a little worse.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, wait, no. Golduck doesn't care. It has Cloud9.
Yeah, I was going to say, Golduck doesn't care.
You said yes. You agreed.
I was going back through, because I'm looking at, like, I'm going back to the top and looking through Weezing, because Weezing can get Flamethrower.
Mm-hmm. Which, for singles, they sometimes run that over Toxic. I want to import this to Showdown, and I'm going to mess with it and see what I can come up with.
Yeah.
Alright.
Let's move on to this next one. This next one seems a little bit more planned out. Even though there's, like, no sprites for any of these Pokemon we're looking at right now.
I was going to say that, but the perks of having all the big boys. So we have 4 new Mons here. Well, 4 Mons that don't have sprites. Yeah,
4 Mons that don't have sprites, but technically all of these are
6
new.
of them are new. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have Galarian Slowbro holding a Life Orb. Let's go through everything before I start getting into sets. G-Max Urshifu holding Focus Sash. G-Max Rillaboom holding Iron Ball, which we'll get back to that one.
Yeah.
Scope Lens, Inteleon.
G-Max Inteleon.
Okay, we have the focus energy on it. I was going to yell at him if he didn't.
And then outside of those Gigantamax targets, we have Galarian Slowbro with Life Orb, Assault Vest Kangaskhan, and Koba Berry Amoonguss, which is pretty common.
Yeah, Koba Berry is really picked up in popularity. It's one that I know I've talked about quite a lot, but I think Koba Berry is, like, still probably the best thing you can put on a Mungus at this point.
It's pretty close.
Specifically because there's all these mons that gain access to max airstream that just want to target it down, and you're just like, nah, I need to live this hit and then put you to sleep.
Yep.
That's what makes a Mungus so great, having access to Koba Berry.
Yep.
So, starting here at the top, we have this Galarian Slowbro holding this Life Orb. Quick draw, so we can try to hit a little faster. 252 HP, 252 special attack, 4 defense. Why are we not min speed? Is that actually a reason?
There might be things to outspeed people outside of Trick Room.
Okay.
Moves are Shell Sidearm, Expanding Force, Flamethrower, and Trick Room.
So, Trick Room here is strictly as our speed control measure, because we don't actually have any monster can really abuse it. I mean, Amoonguss is slow, but it's not like Trick Room Abuser slow.
Yeah, we've got like a Trick Room team of Slowbro, Rillaboom, Kangaskhan, and Amoonguss, and then we've got like a fast mode with Urshifu and Inteleon, specifically, with Rillaboom and Kangaskhan as support.
I see Slowbro here as the counter to Trick Room, being able to literally, reverse it. So I don't hate Trick Room on it. I think it's fine.
Notably, Slowbro is its own abuser as well. It's kind of like a Hatterene. I'm interested in why we're running Flamethrower.
Because it's good coverage, I guess?
You also get Scald, or Surf, or whatever it is.
I know you get Surf. That's something James Beck was doing. He was pairing it with Gastrodon. So, Trick Rooming and then, switching into Gastrodon and Surfing to get your Storm Drain trigger.
I was doing the same thing with Lapras and Alolan Raichu.
Yeah, that was cute.
To heal up my Lapras, because everyone likes to just sit there and blow up and just damage Lapras. So I'm not sure what Flamethrower coverage is for. I guess we don't really have a good way to deal with opposing grass types.
Steel types too. Oh wait, no, we have this Urshifu.
Yeah, we have Urshifu sitting here.
I'm not good at this game, man. Leave me alone.
Urshifu, Unseen Fist, of course, getting through Protect, and Jolly, Close Combat, Wicked Blow, Sucker Punch, and Detect. He was talking about, Navier was, about how Urshifu Dark has kind of just been the better one. Getting at Sucker Punch versus Aqua Jet is no contest. Urshifu G-Max, the Dark Fighting one, Sucker Punch is just 10 times better than being Aqua Jet on the water one.
The best part is Showdown finally has sprites for it.
Did they finally fix it? Because they had to fix it this morning.
Oh, yeah, when I was playing this afternoon, they did. And it is so much better.
I have to go.
They have sprites for it. They have sprites for, I think, all the new G-Max Mons. I'm not sure if they have sprites for Slowbro yet, though. Let me check while I have this still pulled up.
They do have Urshifu. That's good.
They do have Slowbro. No, they don't.
Womp womp. Oh well. Anyway, that's going to help a ton because Urshifu has constantly been a thorn in everyone playing on side. I'm playing on Showdown because the sprite is the same for water and for dark, and you won't know it until it's already out in front of you. Which sucked. But 4 times weakness to fairy means nothing if you survive the fairy hit and then just OHKO something back. That being said, I still don't think it's better. I don't think Urshifu is actually good at all.
I think the best part of Urshifu is Unseen Fist.
Yeah.
And that is only because people don't play around it yet.
Yep.
I say that because I got by it today.
I got by it once really early on before, in testing for Series 5. I have played around it since.
Yep. Everybody gets it once. And, worst part is I will be watching, streamers, and they will, go to Protect, and I'm just no, you can't do that. But when I actually go to play, I forget about it.
Notably, the G-Max one strike, whatever the G-Max move is real good as well. Unfortunately, it's Dark type.
Yeah.
Which doesn't hit a lot.
Yeah.
That's where the water one is better.
Notably, Urshifu is kind of good if Psychic Spam is good.
Yeah.
Like, being able... it's doing basically what I'm doing with T-Tar. It's just like, yeah, this is my counter. But the big thing is Urshifu is way faster than T-Tar.
Yeah, but T-Tar is way bulkier than Urshifu.
Yeah! It carries a policy a little better.
Yeah, so I'm still not sold on Urshifu being good. Like you said, it's good when Psy Spam is good, and Psy Spam is not really that popular anymore. It's starting to fall off.
It's definitely starting to tick down.
Speaking of Psy Spam, this Iron Ball Rillaboom is specifically to stop Psy Spam.
So, this is something we joked about when Grassy Glide first got announced.
Yeah.
And, like, someone brought up that Indeedee and Rillaboom had the same speed tier. And we're like, okay, how do we stop that? Like, how do we beat this?
Iron Ball.
It's like, well, you play min speed, negative nature Rillaboom. And then, naturally, I started doing this. I started doing it with my Indeedees, too. Or I played min speed, zero speed, just actual as low as possible on my speed.
Yeah.
And I would win games because my terrain would come up last.
Yep.
And it was great.
Coin flips.
So it was joked about, like, okay, what's the next iteration of this? Oh, you play Iron Ball. So
Notably, you can actually invest in speed with Iron Ball, and then instead of playing knockoff, you can fling it.
Which is what I said, but no, they don't want to listen to me, and then instead we're playing knockoff.
It's just you're super duper slow.
Knockoff is way better.
Knockoff is better, but fling, that's max fling damage there with Iron Ball, by the way. I do know that one. I do know the damage calc for that one. That is max damage with Iron Ball. I think it's somewhere in the 150 to 200 range or something like that.
Huh.
It's a lot.
That is a lot.
I know it's a lot. But Iron Ball, Fake Out Grass Glide, Knockoff. I wish that we were running a Protect instead of this high horsepower. Specifically because we are Iron Ball. We do get blown up by a stiff airstream in any sense of the word because we are max HP, max attack, and no defensive investment whatsoever. So that's the downside of running Iron Ball. You go down to anybody running Airstream, period. But the rest of the set is fine for Iron Ball. If you're running like a Protect there instead of high horsepower, you'd be perfect probably.
Inteleon. I'm not sure about this this high horsepower. That's the one thing I'm just like, that's kind of weird. In my last spot, I'm playing Drain Punch because I like the recovery.
You're also Assault Vest.
True.
You can't run Protect, so you need the recovery. This set can run Protect and still be fine.
True, you're not wrong. Another thing I've seen in that last spot, specifically again Assault Vest variants, is U-turn, which is really good against opposing Rillabooms.
I've also seen just people just playing double grass moves with Woodhammer.
Oh, that sounds delightful.
Being able to OHKO the bulky water types that sit across from you that Grassy Glide wouldn't normally be able to deal with.
So, what do we get if we're not? We can play Protect. Yeah, Protect is actually the only non-damaging move on its Picolytics page.
Yeah, I was going to say Protect is probably the best spot there because, like I said, going down to probably the most common max move in the game easily isn't a really good idea.
So let's see. What else do we get? We get Leech Seed if we want to do that.
Substitute.
Oh, we get Taunt.
Yeah, you can do that too.
We get Noble Roar. I actually didn't even know this was an attack.
Yeah, it's what's the evolved form of Litleo? Pyroar. That's Pyroar's move, signature move.
I was gonna say it's Komo's, so you're doing better than I am.
Nope, I specifically remember it being Pyroar's.
We get bulk up.
Nah.
All right, I'm off it.
Yep. Run Protect. Just you got the opportunity. You don't need all these coverage moves on your Iron Ball Rillaboom. Run Protect. You can do it. It's fine. Urshifu isn't that popular, and Urshifu isn't going to OHKO you. It's not super effective. There's no super effective hit that's gonna blow you up on your Rillaboom. You can Run Protect and be fine.
Does it get Ice Punch?
Rillaboom?
No, Urshifu.
Probably, but no one runs it because all of them are Focus Sash, and you want priority move, signature move, close combat, and protect move. It
gets Ice Punch.
So that's about the only way you like run these Pokemon because otherwise you just get blown out.
Yep. So Inteleon,
Focus Energy, Air Slash, Blizzard, Snipe Shot. I wish this Blizzard was anything but Blizzard. Dark Pulse.
Beam, Mud Shot.
Mud Shot be a really good one.
Mud Shot is something you and I played with, and it was not awful.
No, being able to just smack an opposing electric type around is fantastic. Plus,
especially because you were always going to be faster than it.
Oh yeah, you were going to be faster no matter what. So it's just the only thing outspeeding you is Dragapult.
True.
So.
Which, like, notably Inteleon here is timid. A lot of the Inteleons I played with were modest, I think, just because, like, you're not going to outspeed Dragapult, and very few things, if you are modest, will outspeed you. And you just need to take note of that. I can't remember off the top of my head what speed we get to, but luckily I have Showdown, so...
I believe it is 190 something.
So 252...
It's like a couple points faster than...
if we are modest, we get to 172. If we're timid, we get to 189.
Yeah, so it's 1 point faster than Cinderace. So you actually, like, if you want to outspeed Cinderace, you need to be timid.
Oh, that's lame.
Because Cinderace runs Jolly because its attack is so high.
Yep. So, I mean, and our special attack is insanely high, too. I mean, we're base 125, so that's still insanely high.
Yeah.
I think it's Cinderace is base 119 speed.
Something like that. Maxes out at 188.
Yep, 119. And Inteleon is 120.
I'm starting to learn these speed tiers, which is kind of nice after 5 months or 6 months of playing.
I still don't know, man.
This Kangaskhan. Fake Out, Circle Throw, Icy Wind, Double Edge, Assault Vest, Scrappy. Remind me, Circle Throw it's got the
negative priority.
Negative priority, and it forces a swap, right?
I
believe that's what it does.
Sure.
Yeah, it's like it's Dragon Tail, but fighting type.
Yep, but it always goes last.
Well, so does Dragon Tail.
Yeah, but, -6 priority instead of -7 for...
So not always last.
You're right.
Almost always last.
I misspoke.
Icy Wind, Double Edge. I
can't imagine this thing doesn't hit like a truck.
Oh, it does. It blows a lot of things up. Notably...
Okay, so... earlier, before we started recording, we were talking about doing the alt main speedruns for Sword and Shield. Mm-hmm. I kind of want to try Kangaskhan, just to see, like, how good it is.
That wouldn't be terrible. Kangaskhan's good early. There's a reason you get him, like, usually late in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So...
I kind of want to try that. I'll have to fight with it later.
Yep.
And then we have Amoonguss. getting us back on track.
Yep. Pollen Puff, Clear Smog, Rage Powder, Spore. Pretty standard outside of this Pollen Puff, which can be Protect if you want it to be.
I really like Pollen Puff. I'm not sure if I like Clear Smog, though.
Clear Smog is good against Weakness Policy specifically, plus a lot of the mons that do Dynamax boosts. Like we said, Max Air is a problem. Having the Cobra Berry on Amoonguss helps with that problem. And being able to clear those speed buffs or those attack buffs or those defense buffs so your other mons can deal damage better is kind of important.
I really like Pollen Puff. That's one that I've played with a lot on my Amoongus's. Amoonguy?
Just say Amoonguss.
Just being able to just heal up your partner is really good. I like it. I've played it with Porygon Z, holding Life Orb. So like, alright, now Pollen Puff to regain your health. Because PZ doesn't have recovery at all.
Yeah.
Well, it gets recover, but you don't run it. Because you rather just punch things. So being able to have recover, basically, is really awesome.
Yep. Notably, ability is Regenerator, and the one thing I was going to say about Slowbro before we moved on, I'm not a fan of Quick Draw without Quick Claw.
I'm not a fan of Quick Draw at all.
Regenerator is probably the better ability on your Slowbro, for sure. Slowbro is naturally bulky. It survives a lot of attacks. You could slap a weakness policy on this thing and be completely and utterly fine. You could also just slap leftovers and swap it in and out with, like if you put U-turn on your Rillaboom, just swap this thing in and out, and it's just going to stay healthy and be able to dish damage and then swap out and then swap back in and put out more damage, and you just get to keep doing this over and over. It plays really well with Incineroar that way.
Yeah, especially if you're like Parting Shot Incineroar.
Yeah.
Or if you're the Assault Vest variant, U-turn. Like, the fact that, like, Incineroar gets to switch in and out as freely as it wants is absurd.
Yeah, I know, right?
Notably, like, another, like, Parting Shot abuser that I haven't seen and haven't played with lately is Alolan Persian.
I was just looking at that bomb the other day, thinking about how I could abuse it because no one is playing with it, and it is actually really good.
I was literally thinking about this morning, so I understand. It's like, the worst part is you and I come to the same conclusion a lot about a lot of different things, and like it's stuff we don't talk about and we don't bring up.
Yeah. It's because we do a lot of the same testing over and over and over.
But it makes me laugh because it's just like, I didn't know you were working on Persian things.
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to hit on Team of the Week before we move on?
Nah, that's about it. That team feels a lot more cohesive than the other one. Just some small quality of life changes to just help you round out your play a little bit better and maybe kind of just survive bad matchups a little better.
Yeah, basically. So, let's see. Rose Tower?
Rose Tower or Porygon Z?
Let's talk Rose Tower.
Okay.
So, they had Clash number 12 on the 3rd, it looks like, is when this was posted.
So about just over a week ago? Just about a week ago?
Yeah. They did it Friday, and we record on Thursday, so, you know.
So they did it right after we recorded last week's episode, and right before the holiday. Got it.
Yep. So, congrats to Tyron Liu coming out here on top, playing Togekiss, Rillaboom, Cinderace, Chandelure, Milotic, and Toxtricity. This is a very interesting team.
It's pretty standard, except for the Toxtricity and the Chandelure in this like setup here. Rillaboom,
and the Milotic, like that's another one that's kind of fallen out of favor.
I was getting ready to say is Rillaboom, Milotic, and Cinderace was the 3 before Primarina started to creep in.
Mm-hmm.
So Milotic, bringing it back up here, being actually a very good assault vest carrier here lately. Having access to a max quake, max Wormwind to reduce attacks, so you just are even bulkier than normal. Max Quake to raise your special defense. Max Geyser to set rain to help out your Rillaboom. It does a lot, for sure. Togekiss, pretty standard, probably. Rillaboom, Cinderace they just do well together. Imprison, probably on this Chandelure to help with our speed control. And the Toxtricity's there to probably just shore up any like bulky water mons that we have a problem with because we have double fire.
Yep.
Seems pretty straightforward. Notably, no new mons. New.
So speaking of no new mons, here's something that this is a team that I have not seen anything close to since Series 1.
We have Garachu again.
We have Togekiss, Whimsicott, Gyarados, Excadrill, Raichu, and Umbreon. Man, okay. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot Umbreon even existed.
I'm trying to figure out Umbreon's role. What does Umbreon do on this team?
Oh, it's pure support.
Like, Yawn, Foul Play.
Yep, Foul Play is its only damaging move, usually.
But what does that do for us, though? Is it just a sleep bot?
So we have Yawn, we get Moonlight for recovery, we get Helping Hand?
We get Taunt?
We get Taunt. So we have Helping Hand, we have Taunt, we have Moonlight, we have Foul Play, we get Fake Tears, if we want to go that route.
We don't have enough special attackers to abuse Fake Tears.
Yeah, our only special attackers here are Togekiss and possibly Raichu, but Raichu doesn't really count because it's also basically support. So that means this is going to
be... maybe?
Yeah, but like, again, Whimsicott is mainly support, so like, this has to be Crit Kiss. Like, our three big attackers are going to be, like, Togekiss, Gyarados, and Excadrill. Like, the other three are definitely on support role.
Yeah.
And if that's not the case, I would be very surprised.
Yep, pretty standard, for the most part, Gyarachu team. Just haven't seen it in a very long time because there's other things you can play with that are probably better.
Yep.
Finally get a first new Pokemon, and it's a Mungus and a Azumarill in top 4 here.
So, Amoonguss, Azumarill, Rillaboom, Colossal. I kind of forgot its name for a second.
It's been a while since you had to talk about Colossal, huh?
Incineroar and Dragapult. So this is definitely just like G-Max Colossal shenanigans.
But we get a Moongus to do Sleep Powder, Pollen Puff things for our Colossal to keep it alive, which is really, really cool.
So notably here, Azumarill gets Steel Roller to deal with all the terrain that's going on, which we compare next to Rillaboom to be able to set up terrain. It also gets Aqua Jet for weakness policy, steam engine things. So it can set up your Colossal if need be. If for some reason Dragapult's not good, which I don't know when Dragapult wouldn't be good because it's always good.
Yeah. The one thing I worry about is if this Azumarill is huge power, that's a very powerful Aqua Jet.
Let's see, what else does it get?
Sap Sipper and...
Ooh, Sap Sipper's not bad.
And Thick Fat, that's the other one.
Yeah, Sap Sipper's not bad with all the Rillaboom running around. Yeah. Maybe it's time for Goodra to do its thing.
Goodra has been doing its thing. Every time I run into a Goodra against Rain, I kind of just sigh and hit the forfeit button because I have no good way of actually dealing with Goodra. You can't hit a Dragon type attack into it because you just proc its weakness policy. Fairy types don't do enough to it because you just proc its weakness policy, and then it blows you up in return because it gets access to Sledge Bomb. Yeah, it kind of just does a whole lot very, very well because it's a bulky special defense attacker, and a lot of the attackers that hit it are special attackers.
Huh.
Yep. Kingdra hates it. Rain hates seeing Gudra across the table.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure, man.
Say Kingdra hates it. What other new ones hate it? Hattereen's not a fan of it. Primarina is not very fond of it either because Gudra gets Thunderbolt.
Yeah, looking at Pikalytics, top item is Citrus Berry. Second top item is Assault Vest, and there's actually quite a bit of difference between the two. But your Citrus Berry is at 47%, but Protect is only at 12%. And everything above Protect is a damaging attack.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're just like 4 attacks plus Citrus Berry, because I think 4 attacks plus Assault Vest when we have base 150 special defense is way better.
Oh yeah, like your goal with the Gudra is to just be at a special defensive wall and just dish out as much damage as you possibly can while your opponent sits there and tries to chip away at your health.
And like, you can even be a physical attacker if you want, because like base 100 versus 110 on your attacks is like not that big of a difference.
Nope.
You get like superpower, you get power whip, you get outrage, you get rock slide. Outrage is obviously not the best, but
I think you get breaking swipe.
Let's see. Physical,
which helps
dragon.
a ton.
You get Dragon Tail, Outrage, and Breaking Sweep.
Yeah, breaking swipe is super important if you're going to run Gudra as a physical attacker, specifically sap super versions, because you're able to lower your opponent's attack, which means you don't have to put as much investment into your defense to actually just be this annoying wall. Unfortunately, Gudra's not anywhere near any of these tournament results.
Yeah.
I wish it was. Oh well. Fourth place team is pretty standard Trick Room Sun that we have been seeing a long time beforehand. It's just now that you get G-Max Venusaur, you don't have to run Charizard.
Yeah.
You don't have to have 10 Mons weak to water on your Sun team now.
Which, I mean, that makes such a difference, man.
Oh, it's huge. Being able to just go max Vine Lash, anything that's not a grass type, take damage.
And, like, that's one of the big reasons I think Sun has failed in the past. Is just you don't have enough abusers for it outside of Fire Mons. And, I mean, this is kind of the same thing with, like, Rain. Like, you don't have enough abusers outside of Water Mons. And, like, sure, you know, your Water Mons have plenty of coverage. Like, you have Kingdra, you have Ludicolo. If you really want to go deep, you have Poliwrath. Like, there's plenty of dual-type water types. But how many are not weak to water's, you know, weaknesses?
Kingdra.
Exactly. That's what Rain has been missing. So,
I mean, you have Swift Swim Baratic, so it's like a physical Ice Mon to just abuse people with. But, how many people actually run Baratic?
exactly. According to Pikalytics,
Not a lot.
less than 0.01%.
Nice. Fifth place team has beat up Terrakion with Lapras, Incineroar, Rillaboom, and Dusclops. Pretty standard beat up. Just slotting it into a decent set with Rillaboom and Incineroar as support mons. Yeah. Pretty decent. I haven't been impressed with Terrakion or Cobalion or any of the Swords of Justice. That's what they're called, right?
The Justice Trio?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I have not been impressed with any of them in any of the playtesting I've done.
Cobalion. Cabalion's the only one I've liked.
It's the best one. I still haven't been impressed.
Oh yeah, I have moved on from it, but Cobalion is where I'm at.
Like, the redirection is so big in this format, and when your whole strategy is like trying to set up a beat up, a good player can just click follow me and just ruin your beat up strategy. Sixth place team has pretty much 5 Mons plus a Mungus. It's fairly close to the Togekiss Excadrill Tyranitar nonsense we've been running, except instead of Tyranitar, we are playing a Mungus for support with Rillaboom G-Max probably as damage, Incineroar, and Rotom Wash to round out this very cut and dry, clean course here. The only thing you're missing really is a Dragon type.
Which I really don't know what you would want.
Nothing really, probably Dragapult. It's like the one Mon you're missing from these usual teams, which Amoonguss is currently taking that slot.
Yep. Yeah. I think I like Amoonguss more than Dragapult here. It seems fine.
Yeah. Next team is Sun TR, except we also have Sand when Sun isn't good. Having Venusaur and Maractus. I'm assuming this Maractus is probably Storm Drain instead of Chlorophyll.
Because Storm Drain here is really good because we have 2 Mons that are weak to water, being Tyranitar and Torkoal. So, we want our weather setters to be good, and both of our weather setters are bad against rain, so being able to redirect rain into your Maractus just seems fine.
Until that rain is Kingdra and you get hurricaned.
I tried, man. I tried.
That's the thing. It's like trying to do Storm Drain things doesn't work against Kingdra anymore because Kingdra isn't a water type. Kingdra's a dragon type. It just happens to have Swift Swim and water coverage. Team also has Conkeldurr and Dusclops on there to just have a Trick Room mode when you need it to be. Pretty solid backup plan. I just don't like the Maractus. There's a reason the top 4 Sun team doesn't have Maractus.
Yep.
8th place team. This is a weakness policy Dragapult with Triage Comfey as a weakness policy procer.
Interesting.
Pairing
this is something I've played against quite a bit.
Pairing Lapras with it to set up screens is really, really good. Incineroar, Rillaboom, again, just the fake out duo is a really strong lead. You never know what they're going to do, really. Having access to Grassy Glide and fake out, and then Incineroar being Intimidate plus fake out plus Parting Shot. Those 2 Mons, I figured it out real early in Series 5, is these 2 Mons are just going to run the format probably.
Yeah, I fully agree. I learned today that Triage gives things +3 priority.
Yeah.
I thought it was +1. I'm like, I'll just, this is fine.
Nope, it is +3. It is much better weakness policy procer than Sylveon ever will be. I don't know if Comfey gets Absorb. Does Comfey get Absorb?
It gets Giga Drain.
That's not bad either.
I know this because it procced my weakness policy on Tyranitar.
Comfey, let's see here. So Triage affects any healing move. We don't get Absorb, I don't think. No, we don't. But we do get Giga Drain.
Do we get Mega Drain?
We get Mega Drain and Giga Drain.
Okay.
Do we get Mega Drain? Or is Mega Drain? We don't get Mega Drain, it's just Giga Drain. Which still isn't that bad. Also get Pollen Puff. That's actually really good. +3 priority heal 50% of your ally. That's insane. But what I was thinking is it works as a grass type weakness policy. Like anything that's weak to grass, you could proc weakness policy on. You could proc a Blastoise. You could proc any of your Swift Swimmers. Just things to think about.
Yeah, it seems... Comfey seems really interesting, and it's not one I have played enough with to be able to dictate whether it's good or not.
Yeah.
And by played with, I mean I haven't played any games with it.
Getting out of the top 8 into the top 12 here, the 9th place team has beat up Terrakion. It's Terracotta, literally, Whimsicott Terrakion. Yep. Also has Amoonguss and Durant as a secondary backup as redirection plus just hustle life orb things. And then Primarina Incineroar to round out this 6. This feels very, very solid. Like, this would be something that like I would expect Terracotta to look like.
Yeah, I agree. This is a very, very solid Terracotta team. The problem with Terracotta is there is so much redirection in this format right now.
Yeah. I know Aaron Zhang has been doing a lot of YouTube videos with his Terracotta Cobalion team. He has so many ways. He has 2 beat up users and 2 justified users, and it's so hard for players to optimally play around the beat up plan because you don't know when it's going to happen or how it's going to happen. There's a whole series of YouTube videos on it. I would recommend going and watching them on YouTube. He has a real good job of breaking it down and how it works. But watching Wolfie's exhibition match against that team, it's just like showed me that you can still do it. Everyone wants to lead beat up, but you can't do that.
Correct.
There's a lot. You got to set up a lot.
It is your backdoor to victory plan.
Yeah. Which having 2 of each makes that very, very viable. Next team is a take on Sun Trick Room we don't see very often. Specifically because there is a Dragalge in this team. And Urshifu. I think this is our first and only Urshifu.
I believe so.
Which, I'm going to be honest, I'm not surprised. I think this is Water Urshifu specifically. It could be Dark Urshifu, but I can't tell the sprite's difference.
I don't know. I legitimately don't know on that one.
But it's pretty standard Trick Room. Indeedee Hatterene gives you size spam. Dragalge is your abuser because it's base 45 min speed when it's all bottomed out and quiet. Is really, really good. You're base 44 on Dragalge. Because you get to underspeed Alolan Marowak and you can max guys with them.
Yep, and then they go away.
Yep. Torkoal as another Trick Room abuser and sets up Sun for our Venusaur, which we can run G-Max and do the whole Vine Lash thing. This makes me feel like the Urshifu actually is water instead of dark.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
That would fill out the trio there of the water, grass, fire core that we want really bad. It's just it doesn't do well in the sun, which is kind of crappy. But Psy-Spam plus Trick Room plus Sun plus Urshifu, it's a hard team to like build your 4 around. If you see against this, like, what do you bring? Do you expect Trick Room? Do you expect Sun plus Urshifu? Like, you got to weigh all your options here, and they could bring all of it all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So, 11th place here, we have our first rain, like hard rain team. We talked about Weeblewob's team. It was last week, wasn't it? It was last week we talked about it, where it was the rain team plus Marowak, Porygon 2, Amoonguss, and Corviknight. It was the Trick Room style team. I think he just brought the same 6 again for this tournament.
I'm 99% sure we talked about this team last week.
I'm pretty sure we did.
Or the week before, sometime.
It's a really good team. I'm just not a fan of Corviknight. I'd much rather play any other steel type.
Yeah, have not been impressed with it.
I've never been impressed with Corviknight, and having just be on there isn't that great for me. I like Nate's team he was playing with. He was playing a Scavalier.
Okay.
As a steel type, close combat, drill run, Mega Horn, or no, not Mega Horn, Fell Stinger, and what was the last move?
I don't know.
It was Assault Vest, so it had an attacking move. What was it? Ground, Bug, Steel, Fighting. Iron Head. It must have been Iron Head then. I can try to remember the Steel type move, and I just couldn't remember. I think it's Iron Head. But yeah, so it was really cool watching that play. He was also doing Parish Song things with his Politoed, so it made more sense to be all in on Trick Room style stuff. which I found out that Escavalier ties Torkoal for when you're both min speed. So it is literally a coin toss to see if your Torkoal gets to OHKO it, or if your Torkoal dies to Max Quake.
Oh.
It is literally a coin flip. There is no fixing it whatsoever.
There's no in between.
No. Just flipping coins. Hard Rain has been really good, and we'll talk about Hard Rain probably here in a minute, because we have a couple more teams with Rain on them, but not like no Kingdras, which is what we kind of defined as Hard Rain. The next team in 12th here is a Porygon Z style team. Has Porygon Z as like this abuser of being a real good Dynamax Mon, Excadrill, Primarina, Talonflame, Incineroar, and Rillaboom. I'm not sure Talonflame is the right Tailwind Mon for this team.
Okay. What would you rather have?
Anything that's not doubly weak to rock and also increases our fire weakness, like our fire types like weaknesses. Having 3 Mons weak to water kind of sucks.
So the thing I've seen a lot with Talonflame, just fake it out. Like you just hit fake out and it loses its priority.
Yep.
And then you can just deal with it.
Exactly.
Like granted, it is still absolutely incredibly fast, but it doesn't mean it's not like beatable.
Exactly.
So I have not been impressed with it. But it's whatever.
Going out of the top 12 into the top 16 here, Matty Moo's first one outside of top 12 with his Rain Trick Room team, except he doesn't have an actual Rain abuser. He just has Politoed to set Rain to protect his Corviknight and his Rillaboom. And to weaken his Marowak. And maybe enable Thunder on Porygon 2. Maybe.
Huh. Okay.
Grimmsnarl is like the odd man out here. It's like, here's Prankstermon, but we don't really need Prankstermon because we just have Rillaboom to pair with Porygon 2. Rillaboom can just walk up and fake out something. And that usually means Porygon 2 isn't going to get OHKO'd. So I don't know.
I got nothing, man.
He played something similar to it in a tournament like 2 weeks ago. Something very similar to it, but it wasn't exactly the 6, I don't think. I think Grimmsnarl was something different. What's this next team we got here? Oh, no, we lied. We have 2 Urshifus.
These are the same sprite, so I can't tell which is which.
Yeah, they're the same sprite.
I'm assuming this is water. Like, just looking at this, because, like, we have Rillaboom, Cinderace, Politoed, Mantine, Toxtricity, and Urshifu. Maybe it's probably dark. This is probably dark, because we already have double water, so, like, we don't need triple water, even if both of our other ones are, like, support mons.
Mantine can attack.
You are correct. It can.
It also gets Swift Swim.
I did not actually know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Mantine is a water-flying Swift Swimmer. It just happens to be 4 times weak to electric, so that sucks.
Agreed.
Mantine probably not the best Swift Swim abuser, but being water-flying means you avoid ground type damage, which is kind of cute. Which means you can swap in to protect this Toxtricity, which is really good. You could also swap in to protect your Cinderace if it's slower for some reason. Yeah, it's not bad. Next team has got a Hitmontop on it. I know you're a fan of that.
I love Top. It's one that's kind of just fallen off the face of the earth here lately, but I love Top.
Rillaboom, Talonflame, Lapras, Marowak, Alolan, and Porygon 2. This team feels like it's strong with Talonflame. This is like kind of what the team you want with Talonflame. Still isn't like great because you have a couple months, like you have 2 months weak to water, but you also have Lapras to swap in with Water Absorb. You can just tank it, no problem. You have a Trick Room mode with Porygon 2 and a Alolan Marowak, and you can deal with terrain with Rillaboom and Alolan Marowak and Hitmontop. So it seems pretty balanced, just not completely and utterly optimized yet. So it's still probably getting worked on. And this last team is another Hard Rain team, doing something similar to what Nate was doing. Politoed, Kingdra, Gothitelle to help trap for Perish Song, and a Bug Steel type. This type, instead of being slow, we're going fast with Durant. To help with our Durant fast mode, we have Gengar as a fast Trick Room Mon, and then Incineroar brings up the rear to just help stall out games. Seems pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, seems pretty simple.
Like, here's my Trick Room mode, here's my Perish Song mode, here's my Hustle Durant, but I have no redirection.
Well, you don't need it all the time. I mean,
I don't think you go down to any fire type move in the rain with Durant being Dynamaxed, but I also don't know the calcs for that off the top of my head, so I wouldn't quote me on that.
I will quote you on it, actually.
You can't, though. I said you can't quote me on that.
That's rude.
But yeah, that's the top 16. There was technically top 27 X2s in this tournament, but they only gave us the 16, so that's all we have to talk about. Anything cool catch your eye? Anything like unique that you want to try?
Not really.
This Trick Room team, I like this Trick Room team, the Dragalge patterning thing. I just really like Dragalge though, so I want to try it.
Notably, there's only one, there's 3 Porygon 2s and only 1 Porygon Z.
Which I find surprising. Porygon Z has been like our pet Pokemon here this week. Or like, for a while anyway. We talked about it highly last week, and I know I've been playing with it a lot these past 2 weeks, and it's been overperforming for what I expected it to be doing.
If I'm looking at it correctly as well, there's also 3 Dusclops, but all 3 of the Dusclops are ranked higher than all 3 of the Porygon 2s.
Huh. It's because there's not enough Porygon Z to keep Dusclops down.
Agreed.
Because I know for a fact my Porygon Z set, when I hit Helping Hand Max Dark, that Dusclops had better find a way to get out of the way. It will be going down. Almost instantly. But yeah, Porygon Z has been like the highlight this past week for me anyway. I don't know about for you.
It's been real fun. It has been very, very fun.
I paired it with Rain on my Rain team because I needed redirection anyway, so I just like playing Clefairy or Amoonguss, and I wasn't a fan of Amoonguss, and I wasn't a fan of Togekiss on any of these teams because Magnezone doesn't have Lightning Rod to protect Togekiss, and I wanted to play Discharge, and that means I'd have 2 Mons weak to Electric. So Porygon Z has kind of filled the role of being a good Mon that deals with a lot of problematic leads in the format right now.
Yeah, I have been very, very impressed with Porygon Z. Notably, my obsession with it kind of started because of James Beck, who was playing it alongside Clefairy. I'm just like, that really does help out Porygon Z's kind of mediocre defenses. Like, looking at it real quick. Porygon Z has base 70 defense and base 75 special defense.
Yeah.
So not great. So being able to cut that damage down significantly with Friend Guard is really, really impressive. Plus adaptability Hyper Beam just hits so hard.
I have OHKO'd many a Mon with a Max Strike that I did not expect to OHKO.
Yep, Max Strike is insane. Like, Max Strike being your form of speed control is just fine.
Yep. And in the games you don't need it, you can always Dynamax something else.
Yep. And it's just good. It's just good enough for me.
I'm not sure exactly what your set is. I don't know if it copies mine or if it's close to mine.
My EVs I stole from you.
Okay, good to know that. What about your moves? What have you been running on your Porygon Z and why?
You have Nasty Plot?
Yeah, I'm greedy.
Okay, I have Protect because I am not a greedy.
I have Clefairy sitting next to it. Any attacks that Porygon Z can take is going to go right into the Clefairy, and I'm just going to hit Nasty Plot turn 1, and then I'm going to blow you up.
You also are playing with Thunderbolt, and I've been playing with Ice Beam. I've really, really liked Ice Beam.
I've really liked Thunderbolt.
And see, like, it's weird because when I sent you this team, you're like, hey, you need to play Thunderbolt. And I'm like, trust me, Ice Beam has been really good.
I have Rising Voltage on my Magnezone, so I get more benefits out of Thunderbolt than I do out of Ice Beam.
Yeah, see, I don't have any electric coverage, but I have Rillaboom for grass coverage. So, like, bulky Watermons aren't really that big of a deal because I still have Rillaboom.
How do you deal with Kingdra, though?
Porygon just looks at it and it goes away. Like, in all actuality, I just Hyper Beam it.
Does that KO Assault Vest when they're demaxing? Because that's usually what Kingdra does.
So, I have not been hit with a Kingdra with Porygon yet.
Okay, so you just... no one's actually just led rain against it like I've seen.
No. I also have Primarina, which has Moonblast as well. And I have Chandelure.
There's your Kingdra answer. That's the one you need. Like this.
And Chandelure has Energy Ball. So, like...
Well, that does nothing either.
Yeah, that one's not great. I do outspeed it, though.
You can outspeed it all you want, but you're still hitting it for neutral damage from a non-stab attack.
And Rillaboom has Grassy Glide, so like I can hit it there too. So it's not bad.
Porygon Z is paired well. Being able to set up electric terrain means it counters Psychic Spam really, really well. Which, if that's the case later on, and Psychic Spam falls off, and I don't need to change the terrain as much, being able to go to Ice Beam probably would be okay. I wish this thing got a Fire type attack, because that's what I need. Is fire coverage on this team. But Thunderbolt has been fine for right now, especially pairing it with Magnezone and Rising Voltage. Just being able to go, okay, I set up Electric Terrain, oh, Porygon Z is down, okay, here comes Magnezone. Magnezone just clicks Rising Voltage and something's eating 140. And if they want to proc my weakness policy and then bring me down to Sturdy, that's fine as well.
That just seems great. Like, sure, get out of here.
Yeah, Porygon Z's our set are like our EVs 124 HP, 4 defense, 244 special attack, 4 special defense, and 132 speed. Outside of dying to pretty much any fighting type move, normally you would die to pretty much a ham sandwich because your defenses aren't that great and your HP's kind of garbage. Like 85 is like playable. Mm-hmm. Going to and we don't have a lot in defenses as it is. 124 HP, 4 defense, 4 special defense is like minimal. It's the most minimum investment you can make to where you can still OHKO everything. I know you are timid. I am modest. I think that's another difference.
Yes.
Or did you swap to modest? What did you do?
On
PZ.
Porygon?
Yeah.
I am modest now.
Okay.
I literally stole your set minus
Nasty Plot and Ice Beam.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So we can outspeed certain things. I don't have Tailwind to super duper abuse this, but having redirection helps. I forget what the speed is at 132. I think it's 127.
I don't have it open. I couldn't tell you.
Let's see here. Come here, Showdown. Porygon Z, please. Speed is, I think it's 127. Yeah, 127. I'm not sure exactly what this outspeeds. I know I think I outspeed max speed T-Tar. I think that's one of the things I calced for because superpower hurts like a freaking truck.
Oh, I'm sure.
We don't outspeed anything Urshifu does, but that's what Clefairy's for. Against Sand specifically, we don't really want to bring Clefairy because Excadrill is usually paired on the other side, so I think my usual lead for that is like Venusaur Porygon. Venusaur just sleep powders the Excadrill or the T-Tar, and then I just deal with the Excadrill with a Max Strike. That's kind of been my lead for that.
Yeah, that seems just great.
But yeah, play with Porygon Z. I recommend it. It's a really good normal type. Max Strike has been super underutilized because the best normal type in the game had been Snorlax, and he didn't even get Max Strike.
Yeah, I've been very, very impressed with Porygon Z in every aspect.
There's a reason even Cinderace was running Max Strike for a while. Being able to lower speed is really good.
Yep.
Outside of that, I don't have a whole lot more to say about Porygon Z. I've kind of ranted about him for a while. It's really good. Underutilized, really good. Yeah. Stop playing Analytic. Whoever's playing Analytic Porygon Z, shame on you.
Just get out of here. Whatever you're doing, you're wrong. Adaptability, Hyper Beam.
Whoever's playing Download, you're okay, but that's not what you want to be doing.
We're gonna have choice words if you keep it up.
Why Ice Beam instead of Blizzard?
Because I really like Ice Beam, and I don't like missing.
I was about to say you like being able to hit, right?
I like being able to actually hit.
I could just run all 4 attacking moves and just forego this nasty plot.
I have been I had previous iterations instead of Life Orb, I was Assault Vest, and it was like okay.
That's the other one I see a lot of the times is Assault Vest Porygon Z. You can't Oko Dusclops, you can't deal a lot of damage to some of the other mons that are Assault Vested, so being Life Orb is minimal cost at best.
Yep.
Anything else?
I got a whole lot of nothing, man.
Is there anything? Oh, Draft League 2 is getting ready to start.
Yeah, we will have a Draft League. That's going to probably be next week's talk, is talking about Draft League.
Because the draft day as the day this comes out, it would have been yesterday's the draft day. So there might be a Twitch VOD I put up on YouTube of the draft. We'll see what happens.
I'm very excited to see how this actually goes.
I still gotta get everybody's draft order done up, which I'll probably do about an hour or so before we start drafting. So I have the whole day off, so I probably plan on streaming a little bit while my wife is at work. And doing the whole draft thing is going to be great. I'm excited.
I'm very excited.
Who do you think gets picked first overall? Like what mon gets picked first?
Rillaboom.
You really think so? You think it's that high a priority for people?
Yep.
I'm going to go with the dark horse here. I am going to expect Politoed or probably a Moongus. Politoed or Moongus are probably going to go first.
Those aren't bad. I definitely think those are fine.
A Moongus fills a bunch of roles really early, and Politoed is like, you can build a whole team around Politoed. Unless everyone below you drafts all the Swift Swimmers, you're going to get at least one.
Yep.
Whether it be Golduck, or Bantine, or
there's a ton of them, yeah.
There's a ton of Swift Swimmers and only 2 Rain Setters, and the best one is Politoed. So, better hope you get it early.
I don't hate that.
So we'll have to see pick order and what's popular, what's not. Last time around, Draft League was high priority on Prankstermons and the Gmax forms and kind of just went down the list of what was most played, and just people just took that as we went after the Prankster and the G-Max forms left. I know I took Dragapult really early. You took Togekiss really early. I don't expect that to happen again.
No. I agree.
I expect Togekiss to be a little bit farther down the ranks this time, maybe about mid of the pack first round, because it's still a good mon, but there's other redirections in the format now, with especially Amoonguss being played and Indeedee seeing a lot more play because it's expanding force. So I expect Togekiss to probably be less popular than like what Pikalytics is saying as second pick. Could also expect to see a very high damage output like Cinderace go out. Alola Marowak could also disappear very early. I haven't decided if we're going to allow Urshifu yet or not.
I mean, it's legal.
I know it's legal, but I don't know how to, like, if we want to do it two separate forms because they're two separate Pokemon. If I want to just kick them out entirely. I figured that's how we were going to do it. I figured we would do two separate. It's a little bit stronger in a draft format than it is in VGC. Specifically, not everyone always has an answer to Urshifu, so it's why I'm kind of like on the fence on what should we do with it.
I fully understand.
I'll probably just hold a vote before we do the draft and see if people want to allow Urshifu, especially since it is a legendary and the rules say no legendaries. Like, it may be allowed, but it's still it's labeled. They labeled it as a legendary Pokemon. So
yeah.
Yep.
That's basically all I got, man.
Yeah.
I'm real excited. I am real excited.
I need to get my draft prep done probably before work tomorrow.
I should probably do all that too.
Yeah.
Luckily, Evan Smoke did a beautiful spreadsheet for us, and I'm just like, I'm gonna use this.
Yeah, the spreadsheet's great.
I'm gonna do what everyone else is doing and also use this.
Yeah, use all the tools that they give you because you're gonna need all the help you can get. I watched the Little Cup League and I'm still working on editing those videos into like one giant like long video because I'm trying to figure out what the heck I'm going to do with it all. But the matches were sweet, and eventually I will get them up on YouTube. It just might be a little bit later than anticipated because work. But yeah, get us out of here.
Okay, so everyone, as always, if you're listening on YouTube, make sure you go and hit that subscribe button. You hit that like button. You hit the bell to get notifications when new stuff goes live. Let's see, what else is there? There is... Make sure you leave a comment down below as well. That always helps us out with the YouTube algorithm and all that good stuff. We also would love for you to go follow Carl and I both on Twitter at LR Lessons for the podcast, at Carter Noble 25, and Carl at musical_33. Carl and I both stream on Twitch from time to time, maybe. I am at Mr. Missouri 25, and Carl is at musical on Twitch. There we go, that one. We have our Discord as well. Our community is fantastic. Absolutely love our community. Highly recommend you come join our community. And that's down in the show notes. Questions, comments, concerns can always be sent to our email. That's down in the show notes. And past that, I think I've hit everything.
Sounds about right.
Can you think of anything I've missed?
No.
Okay. Then I think we're out of here for this week, people. Have a good one. We'll be back next week to probably talk some Draft League and some other great stuff, and I'm really excited. So, have a good one. Peace.